Here are some very common UX design portfolio mistakes. Number 1. Using buttons everywhere. If you have more than one primary call to action button in your design per page, you have to change it now, because that shows a lack of skill on designing information architecture. If you have multiple primary buttons on a page, and especially if you're designing for mobile app or mobile web, then a user will feel like there are a lot of options here and it's difficult for them to choose. More options doesn't mean better. Most of the time, the less the better. Here's how you can solve the problem. First, think about if the function is actually necessary for this product. Don't try to achieve everything with a project or a product. If a feature is not necessary for a project, delete it, throw it to the trash, and problem solved. If this feature is necessary for this product, then think about if this feature is necessary on this page. If it's not necessary on this page, hide it in the menu. If it is necessary for the page, then you shall think about, can I use another element to represent this? You can consider an icon, a card, a tag, or a tab. And if this function is for adjustment, you can consider a switch, a slider, a dropdown. If it is indeed a necessary, the most important call to action button, then you shall use a primary button. Otherwise, you can use a secondary outline button. Moving to the next is alignment problem. Almost every portfolio that comes my way has an alignment problem. Let me show you some examples. This one is obvious, right? This one is less obvious, but the alignment problem is still everywhere. To fix your alignment problem, select multiple elements on your page that are supposed to be like horizontally aligned or on the same line, or the icons at the bottom. Go to the top right of the Figma workspace, and there are 7 tools to help you with alignment problem. And make sure to distribute horizontal and vertical spacing properly. So go ahead, play around with the alignment tools and align your project properly. Next one, this one is my personal favorite, which is using shadows everywhere. When I see a design like this, I feel like the person is trying to tell me, I just learned how to use the shadow tool today, and here we go, shadows everywhere. 90% of the time, adding a shadow is an overkill. Don't add a shadow if there's no information behind it. And by information, I mean image or text, because it already stands out enough that you can see it. Some examples that you shall or you can use a shadow is this. This is Gmail. And you can see that behind this button, there's information. So if you don't add a shadow, it doesn't stand out enough. And now you know. And moving to the next, don't use Lorem Ipsum. Lorem Ipsum will make your app look like it's not real. And as a junior designer or as a designer who wants a job, you always need your project to look real enough, to look good enough, as if it's something that you can download from the App Store or a website that has been visited by tons of people. You don't want your project, not even personal project, to look like it's a fake project. Because only projects that look real can attract real clients. You get me? And today we have so many AI tools. You can use Bard, it's free, or you can use ChatGPT 4, which I think is stronger, to write out the content for you. So there's no excuse to use Lorem Ipsum anywhere on your app, not even wireframe. And next, let's talk about common mistakes when it comes to portfolio presentation. And I like to call it bad packaging. If you are Louis Vuitton, don't put yourself in a plastic bag. You are still Louis Vuitton, but people are not going to buy it. To explain what I mean, I will first have to show you the user journey flow of a recruiter or a hiring manager. As a recruiter or a hiring manager, I will receive an outreach from you. This could be a direct cold message, it could be an email, it could be you sending a resume or portfolio to a job post. Only if your outreach is good enough, I will move to the next step to actually check out your portfolio. And then when I land on your portfolio, only if your homepage is good enough, I will go inside and check out your project. And when I enter one of your projects, which is likely to be the first one you present, only if the solution you present on top is good enough, I will scroll down to read the process. And finally, only if the process looks good enough, I will reach out back to you and then discuss an interview opportunity. Think about the user journey as a recruiter, and then think about how much effort you are putting on each step of this. A lot of time, I see people doing the opposite way, spending most of the time trying to polish the process of your project, and then adding in so many details, persona, affinity map, sketches, interview notes. But the thing is that if you don't have a good enough outreach method at the first place, no one will see it. So let me break down how to improve each of these steps. When it comes to outreach, the first mistake you shall avoid is using ChatGPT default message. I hope this message finds you well. Whenever I see a message starting with, I hope this message finds you well, or I hope this email finds you well, I know it's written by ChatGPT and I'm not gonna look at it, no matter how long it is. The second problem of outreach is being very self-centered. Hello recruiter, I'm somebody who's eager to learn more about design and I currently graduated from here. Your job will give me a great opportunity, it will help me a lot. Listen, you are a designer trying to design great experience for other people. You need to turn it around and say, hey, someone who's building a startup. First of all, I like blah 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 about your product. Give them a compliment, because who don't like compliment, and then say, I'm somebody who does design, blah blah blah. One sentence that introduce yourself and build trust. Any point of view that can build trust, just put it there. And then for the next part, spend most of the content writing about how you think that person's product can be improved through UX design. The best outreach I've received includes an outline of how my product can be improved, and then a Loom video of this person talking through my product and directly tell me, here are a few points I think your product can be improved. And then at the end, this person will say, if you want to learn more about my service, just reply yes. I'm like, yes. And then for the next step, this person tells more about their service and then scheduling a meeting to talk about a potential collaboration or potential project. So this is how services that cost tons of thousands of dollars used to do outreach. And now you know for free. Oh, and if your outreach is good enough, I don't even need to see your portfolio. Yeah, I got 3 of my projects through outreach without showing any portfolio. Okay, let's say your outreach is good enough to get you to the next step, but not like extraordinary that people will trust you without even seeing your portfolio. Here's where you need to pay attention on your portfolio homepage. The banners of your project, the project title, that's it. The banners of the project needs to match the standard of, like, if you go to Dribble or Behance, the first page you'll see. It needs to match this standard. The worst mistake you can make is export your banner with a low resolution and then it just looks blurry. I'm not just talking about the design of the banner. Of course, I'm also talking about how your project interface looks and which interface you showcase in the banner. And a tool that can help you to make your homepage looks really well without putting in too much effort is called Framer. Framer is blowing up so much in the design community, so I have to talk about it. It is powered by artificial intelligence, of course. What a time we're living in. But if you want to check out Framer, the link is in the description. But check out later, I still got some points. And then when it comes to your case studies, focus on making the first one the best. The others, you don't have to make it super long, because you usually just present 1 case study in your interview, maximum 2. Put the solution on the top of your case study, not at the bottom of your case study. A lot of people, especially junior designers, organize the flow of your case study in a chronological manner, which is whatever happens first, go first. Whatever happens last, go last. Think about how you learn to write in school, right? Chronological manner works, but it's like, it's very likely that your case study will become super long and people don't even want to scroll to the end. So this is what I suggest. Put your solution to the top. Directly show people what you did. And what's even better, show a very clear before and after comparison. Before I worked on this project, users need to do this. Users need to see this interface, and it takes them this long. After I work on this project, user sees this. And the steps they need to take to achieve a certain goal reduced by 3 steps. If you can reduce a process by 3 steps, you can decrease the drop-off rate for a lot. And for users, it means users can save more time. And for the business, it means more money. Now for the process, you don't have to show everything. You need to show the ones you are good at, and you need to show how you made certain design iterations, and what is the evidence of making certain changes. And if this is a client project or if this is not your first personal project, it's better if you don't follow the standard process. Because in reality, there's no one UX process that can fit every single problem. If your first case study uses a specific process like A, B, C, D, E, this is how I did it, your second project shouldn't have the same process because they are not the same problem. And if you feel like, oh my god, I've done so much, and why do I only need to showcase so little? That's because recruiters and hiring managers have very little time. You also don't want to show everything because you can always present more in your interview. If right now you don't have a client project to showcase in your portfolio, I actually suggest you to improve your skill more and then to improve your outreaching skill, networking skill, and also Consider my course, especially if you made any of the mistakes I've said today. It's meant for beginners or intermediate Figma users to learn more about Figma, UX design, so that you can attract your first client project. If you already have a client project, or if you are a pro, then you shall check out Framer, because Framer might be the future of design. So far, I think Framer performs really well if you're building a portfolio or a landing page, but it doesn't perform the best if you're doing like a very complex website with different pages, different functions. Even though it has AI feature, I will suggest you to use the AI feature for inspirations, not for making design decisions for you. I always suggest to design a wireframe. You can design on paper even, but design a wireframe first on Figma or on paper, and then use Framer as the high fidelity design tool or website building tool. Let me know if you think this video is helpful, and let me know if you want to see more of this kind of video. I will see you in this video.